We'll get started with Molori Safari. So Molori has been around for about 15 years. It's based in it is based in the Madikwe Game Reserve in the northern part of South Africa. So if you can see down here, I actually was searching for a map and I need to get one made of where Madikwe actually is. But if you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner here, you can see that Madikwe is just up in the northern part here, just northwest of Johannesburg. And Molori Safari is based in the kind of eastern part of the game reserve, and we border Botswana here. So when we were just here just recently, it was very, very dry. They hadn't quite had their rains yet, and then actually they had their first rain while we were there, which was amazing to experience. So everyone was really excited. Obviously, as the Brits, we weren't quite as excited because we knew what we were coming back to in the UK. But yeah, it was quite amazing to witness. So you fly into Madikwe East, and then it's a very short, about 10-minute drive to the lodge. And the Madikwe Game Reserve is an amazing reserve, particularly, I think, for first-timers to Africa or South Africa. It's a malaria-free reserve. It's also a Big Five reserve, so you can very well expect to see, at the very least, 4 of the Big Five, and then leopards are sometimes a little bit harder to spot in some areas. But incredible sighting. I mean, we saw elephant, buffalo, lion, and rhino within about 10 minutes of each other, and on our first game drive, it was mad. But the lodge is a beautiful 5-suite lodge, and it's fantastic for families. Again, as I said, fantastic for first-timers to Africa. It's very, very comfortable. The service is incredible. Anyone who has sold Molori, I'm sure, will have had incredible feedback on their service, because they really do seem to be renowned for it. The food was outstanding. I've never, ever had such food on safari. It was like Michelin star kind of level of food. So it feels like a really lovely soft landing for people who are kind of new to safari in particular, or people who just want that kind of really, really amazing service and experience within the lodge, as well as an incredible game experience as well. We've got very cool features throughout the property of these very interesting rugs, which are all designed by South African artists. And so they had, incredible art pieces that we then had, or the property then had, made into rugs. So you can see them throughout the property in the different suites and in the main lodge as well, and all kind of South African designers. So you can really see the art and design kind of style coming through the lodge as well. It's very unique, very quirky, and there's lots of incredible art and sculptures all around. So just another thing that kind of sets the lodge apart, and definitely makes it a destination in its own right, as well as the wider reserve. So yeah, incredible art throughout, and I think they really make use of textures and shape as well in the furnishings throughout the property as well. There's lots of different spaces in the main area to kind of chill out. There's different kind of dining areas and lounge areas. So you've only got 5 suites, and then you've got all these different areas to hang out in. So it feels really, really private and really secluded. It would be an incredible honeymoon destination because it is just such a private experience. They set up dining in a different location every night. We ate in a different location for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. They've got a beautiful kind of lookout deck that overlooks the reserve, and just where the lodge is situated in the sort of in the side of a hill, you have these incredible views throughout. I mean, you can see from here, the main pool is just off that main deck, and the view from up here is absolutely incredible. And I mean, it did not look like this when we were there. It was so dry, and we just knew as soon as those rains started, in a couple of days' time after we'd left, we could even see the green shoots starting to come up as we were leaving. So they have the most amazing hide here as well. And actually, we spent our final morning here. So it was really nice. We kind of didn't want to have a super early start. We've been on safari for about a week, so we were kind of pretty knackered. And we decided to stay in the lodge in the morning and sleep in, and then come down here. And we had our breakfast here. And we actually had our dinner here one night as well. And you're up on ground level here, and you can see you've got a TV screen which actually has cameras looking out over the hide that's over the waterhole that's just below. You can see just to the right here. And then you walk down and you are in this absolutely incredible hide. So we sat there eating our breakfast, And actually, they'd said it could be quite quiet that morning because it was because the rains had just started, and so there'd be water elsewhere. But we had an absolutely incredible experience. We were sat eating our breakfast, we could see the screen, and we saw one elephant come around the corner, and then all of a sudden there was 25 standing there. And then a couple of these other shots are just from the afternoon before, where we'd just popped down for 10 minutes just to see it on our site inspection, and we'd already had a hive of activity. So you can see that this would be an amazing spot. So this is actually from we were there, not great quality on my phone camera, unfortunately. I've got an ancient phone, but it was just amazing to watch the babies come down. They weren't able to use their trunks just yet, and you just feel an amazing proximity to the game. And it is so comfortable down there that you could quite happily spend the whole day in there, and have your, you can dine down there and everything, and you just don't, it's so comfortable that you feel like you're in a kind of lounge or something. So moving on to the rooms. So we have two bedroom presidential suites. These would be fantastic for families. You've got an enormous pool that runs the whole length of that huge deck. And it's kind of that kind of quite often seen style in lodges, where you've got a bedroom at either end and then a lovely large lounge area in the middle. You've got one bedroom that is absolutely enormous, beautiful big room with a gorgeous big ensuite and outdoor shower, and a lovely walk-in wardrobe as well. You've then got this central living area, and these do both come with a butler service and private vehicle as well. And then they have the second bedroom, and as you can see, the second bedroom is quite a bit smaller than the main bedroom, so hence why we really do encourage families mostly in here. This bed can be made into a twin, and you can add an extra bed in as well, but two couples sharing might not love this quite so much, because one of the bedrooms is obviously considerably bigger than the other. It does come with ensuite, the smaller bedroom as well, and then you can see here you've got this beautiful big big pool that kind of runs the length, and you've got the most incredible views again. We've then got one family suite, this one's called. So it's a two-story suite, and it's 2 bedrooms. And once again, you're raised up here. You've got a lovely big private deck and pool and incredible views over the reserve. And then we have our 3 one-bedroom premier suites. So these 3 suites will be perfect for couples, perfect for kind of honeymooners. They have a private deck and these really cool rugs in their lounge areas, outdoor bathroom, and all overlooking the reserve. But I think I mentioned before, it would be incredible for family safaris here, particularly as the reserve is malaria free, so you don't have to worry about small children. We can have children of any age at the property. There is a minimum age for game drives, but it is all ages at the property itself. And they just do the food and the dining so incredibly well. We have a stargazing, we have an observatory with a retractable roof, so you can stargaze here, which is of course amazing. We know the African night skies are amazing, and they have their boma area as well, so you can have outdoor dining in the boma, or they've got their kind of outdoor deck as well, and then they've got a kind of lookout deck that's slightly elevated above the rest of the lodge, which is another incredible spot for dining. And the food, I'll say it again, it was amazing food. We actually had on one of the evenings a 5-course tasting menu with matching wines, like the kind of tasting menu you'd get in a fine dining restaurant in Copenhagen, but you're in the African bush. It was absolutely incredible. And they pair the wines, or you can do whiskey and gin pairings as well. So for someone like me who really, really travels for food, it was absolutely incredible. And I think what I really loved about the lodge, and why I felt like you could A, stay longer here, and B, send people here who maybe haven't been on safari before, don't quite know what it's all about, and kind of are wondering what else there is here. So you have a spa and a gym. There's a whole kind of wellness center. You've got a steam room and a sauna, and there's actually a cold plunge pool as well. And then you've of course got amazing treatments at the spa, and there's a little gym as well. So you can kind of make use of, I felt like there were so many different things we could do here, between kind of this side of things with the hide, going out on game drives. We can also do bushwalks as well, so it does feel like there's a lot of activities to kind of tick off, so a longer stay would be really lovely here. So it is a big 5 reserve, as I said. You can definitely, I mean, we saw so many rhino. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And I had never seen rhino with such enormous horns either. I was really, really blown away. And that was kind of in our first game drive. You can see leopard here. In the area we were in, I think it was a little bit more difficult because there aren't as many high trees, but there are certainly areas where the guys really know where they like to hang out. And it's really well known for wild dog here, so it's amazing wild dog sightings. And we do also have cheetah in the reserve as well. So you have kind of the big five and then some after. So it really is. We have guests. We were chatting to our guide, and he said they have guests who come back every year and spend a week here every year for maybe the last 10 years or something. It was quite amazing to hear that and to know that people really do come back, not just for the safari experience, but for the experience in the lodge, and how the lodge makes you kind of feel like your family when you're there, and you can have the most amazing, incredibly bespoke experience, being that there are only 5 rooms and there's an amazing amount of staff. You really can have a completely bespoke experience while you're here. A quick look at rates. We always like to include that because, you know, it's all very well and good showing you the properties, but you need to know how much they are for your clients. So Molori Safari, being in South Africa, is quoted in rand, but I have popped in the current exchange rate as at sort of a couple of hours ago. And then Molori Mashima is quoted in US dollars, and that is per person per night. And that's, of course, all inclusive.